Hello lovely people, welcome to the Geek Cupboard. I am Penge and welcome to day 22 of the Geek Cupboard's Festive Advent Countdown 2021. Now there's not much tea left in the advent calendar, so it should be fairly easy to find little tea pocket number 22. Now we know it's not on our kind of first panel because that is now all gone. Is it on the second? No, it's right there. It's right there on the third. So there's a second. It's down here on the third panel. So what do we have? We have ourselves after dinner. Okay, right, I might have to sort of break the rules of this one because I'm not going to be having this after dinner. It's quite early in the morning, after breakfast perhaps. Okay, so what is this all about? A delicious balance of sweet fennel, roast chicory and cardamom. Okay, right, so we've had fennel a few times. That's okay, I'm alright with the fennel. I don't really know what roast chicory should taste of, but I guess we'll find out. And also cardamom, yes, we've had that a few times. I know about that kind of thing. Okay, right, and you know what? We're going to remember to read the thing this time. This is a time of year for special herbs to help feasting blues disappear. Okay, fine, so it's kind of, it's a thing that we're supposed to have after dinner, but I'm going to be having it after breakfast. Okay, that's absolutely fine. That's okay with me. So now there is only one thing that we need to do, and that's go to the kettle. And here we are with our lovely, freshly brewed cup of after-dinner tea that we are not having at all after dinner. My goodness me, aren't we the rebels today? So yes, looking at the tea, it is very clearly a black tea. It's really, really strong as well. It's a very, very dark black tea. I mean, I can't see the bottom of the mug through that. It's a really, really dark black tea. Now, once again, the tea bag was left in for quite some time. That often happens when I'm making these teas because I go downstairs and I put the tea bag in the mug and then I pour the water in and then I just sort of potter about the place and go and do some of the stuff around the kitchen while I'm waiting for it to, sort of brew a little bit. So I'll, do the dishes or I'll tidy up or I'll empty the dishwasher or something like that. I will sort of generally potter about the kitchen for a bit. So the tea bag does get left in for quite a while. But there we go. So it's quite a strong looking black tea. Now, in terms of smell, I can't smell anything at all from where the mug is right now. However, if I give it a proper smell, okay, I think I can smell possibly a bit of cardamom, possibly. It's not that strong, or it might be that my nose is just being uncooperative today. But there we go. So it's not that strong to smell. Let's have a taste, shall we? What exactly does after dinner tea taste of when we're having it in the morning? Oh, so rebellious. Okay, right, that's not quite as strong as I thought it was going to be. It's quite nice. It's quite a sort of a smooth blend of flavours, but I thought, given that it looks like a very, very dark sort of black tea, I thought it might be a little bit stronger, but no, it's sort of subtle flavours. Yeah, so you can taste fennel. I can taste the fennel in that. Now I know sort of what fennel is supposed to taste of because we've had it quite a few times. I've now been able to identify fennel in this, everybody. And then, yeah, there's a bit of a gentle sort of heat that comes from the cardamom. I think it must be coming from that. I don't know if I can taste roast chicory or not. I really don't know. I don't know what chicory would taste of, whether it was roasted or unroasted. So there might be chicory in there. Maybe that's providing a bit of sort of gentle heat. I do not know. Hang on, let's go in for tasting number 2. Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice tea. It's not overly strong. It's just quite sort of subtle, smooth flavours. Okay, yeah, that's lovely. Again, it's not one of these spectacular teas that we've had, because some of the teas we've had have been amazing. They've been full of bold, exciting flavours. This is okay. It's a lovely, comfortable, safe cup of tea. It's very nice. It's a very, very nice cup of tea with some good flavours going on. It's not absolutely spectacular, but it will do the job very nicely indeed. So here we go. We have our lovely after-dinner tea in hand, which we're having after breakfast. So right, let's go to today's question, which was asked by, I think, a few people. Now, I might have missed some people out on this because I think a few people might have mentioned it amidst lists of other questions. But I think Dev1977 and Tate Barnes, did both ask, what is your process for selecting a game to play? And it's a very good question. I kind of thought about this for a while because I thought, do I have a process? And then I sort of looked at a bit of self-reflection, I suppose, and went, I do kind of have a bit of a process. So generally, the first thing that I look at for selecting a game to play on the channel is whether the game would be suitable for the channel. Now, we've been doing this for quite a few years now, so I sort of know what games will and won't work. So things like city builders, simulation games, medieval sims, tycoon games, slower paced games, all those seem to work very well, as we know, because the channel is full of those kind of things. But something like, something like Grand Theft Auto would not work well on the channel, or Call of Duty, something sort of mainstream like that, wouldn't really work. It just wouldn't fit It just would not go. People would sort of see the Geek Cupboard playing, I don't know, Call of Duty and think, what? And yeah, there's a couple of reasons why it wouldn't work. Number one, I suppose, it wouldn't sort of attract any other audience. Because, you know, there are thousands and thousands of people out there on YouTube that play something like Call of Duty. And if I did a video like that, if the Geek Cupboard produced a Call of Duty video, it would just be lost. It would just be white noise. So yeah, we wouldn't get any sort of extra people coming in. And then, yeah, the regular people that watch the channel don't watch the channel for things like Call of Duty. So they'd look at that and go, oh no, thank you very much. So yeah, it just wouldn't work. And YouTube is aware of this as well. The clever, smart YouTube algorithm knows what sort of games are played on the channel. It kind of, you know, picks up a theme. And yeah, it doesn't like it if you deviate too much. It doesn't like it. So yeah, it wouldn't kind of promote the video as much because it would be going, whoa, hang on a minute. You play like simulation games and tycoon games. All of a sudden, you're playing, you know, a sort of FPS first-person shooty, fighty game where you're running around the place killing people. Oh my goodness me. No. This isn't what you do at all. What are you up to? So yeah, the algorithm would sort of get a bit grumpy with that. So I think, yeah, first thing is whether it would be suitable for the channel in terms of the type of game. And then I suppose I would then look for suitability for the channel in terms of what is in that game. So whether it's got swearing or blood and gore and nudity and all that kind of, you know, all the naughty stuff. And if at all possible, I'd try and avoid that. Now, sometimes that's not always possible. Sometimes you do have a spot of, you know, either swearing or blood or gore or nudity or whatever in certain games. So things like Prison Architect. Prison Architect has a bit of swearing in, as we saw when we played it all those years ago. But yeah, that had a little bit of swearing in. And Crusader Kings 3. Crusader Kings 3 had nudity in it, to our great surprise, because, yeah, sometimes people adopt the nudie religion. So yes, they kind of, you know, sometimes games do have these things in. But, you know, I think in both of those examples, they weren't gratuitous, as it were. I mean, the swearing in Prison Architect was sweary, but it wasn't like every other word was swearing. So, you know, it was, you know, the occasional naughty word here or there. And then Crusader Kings 3, they weren't sort of, I mean, yes, okay, the people were nude. They did have, you know, fig leaves and such like in certain places. But, yeah, it wasn't excessive. They were just sort of stood on the screen being nude. And of course, we had the wonderful decency mugs to help out with that kind of stuff. So yeah, I kind of look at it in terms of that. But yeah, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious if it's, you know, gratuitous swearing, blood, gore, nudity, all that kind of stuff. It becomes fairly obvious. Hang on, need some more tea. So next, I would suppose, but I'd sort of check if I actually enjoy the game, because there might be a game that goes well on the channel and a game that is, you know, sort of, you know, swearing and blood and gore and nudity free. But I don't want to play a game that I'm not going to enjoy, because that would come across in the videos and people would sort of find them maybe a bit flat or whatever. And also I'll check if it's easy to play as well. If it's horribly, horribly complicated, then I will struggle. My old brain can't cope with really overly complex things, and I just end up being, you know, getting frustrated and grumpy at a really complex game. So something, you know, like with ludicrously complicated supply chains and things like that, my brain would melt. We did play a game, what was it called? I can't recall what it was now. There was a game and you're on a planet and you had to sort of, you built various things on a planet and you went round and you put down like a mine to get gold, and you had to build tracks to put take the gold into another building to refine it into something else. I can't remember what it was called for the life of me now, but that got a little bit too complicated because it was a bit, right, I need that to go into there and this to go into here and that to go into there and plug that into there and that thing needs to come down to this building. And it all got it was a little bit too sort of fiddly for the end result. And the end result just sort of hooray, you process some gold or something. It's oh, crikeys. So, yeah, something like that. Something with a horribly complicated supply chain. My brain would just pour out of my ear. So I would steer clear. Now, of course, yeah, some games you do sort of play and then you realise that they are a bit complicated. So something like City of Gangsters, for example. It's not really complicated, I suppose I should say. But, you know, it did have supply chains in it. But again, that was nice and turn-based. It was turn-based, and you could take your time with it. And it wasn't that bad. There are other games out there that are way more complicated. So yes, the games that we choose have to have a certain level of comfort to it, and I also have to enjoy it. So I mean, obviously, YouTuber's Life 2 is a bit of a weird one with this, because at the start, I thought, yeah, YouTuber's Life, that did really well on the channel. Let's play YouTuber's Life 2. It looks bright, it looks colourful, you're sort of the same people. Okay, there we go. We're sort of, you know, a cartoony version of ourselves, and we're going to go and make YouTube videos. But then the more we played that game, the more I realised that I didn't really like it very much at all. It was kind of just a little bit sort of less sort of doing the YouTube stuff and more interacting with famous people and the game sort of name dropping and getting you to do missions and things. So yeah, sometimes, you might start out with the best intentions and then the game just doesn't work out for you, a bit like YouTuber's life too. And then I guess possibly the final thing I might do, maybe not the final actually, I would probably go and think about whether it makes good videos. So some games are very good to play. They're really good fun, but they might be quite hard to make entertaining videos of. And I've written a little note on the notepad file that I've got open in front of me that says City Game Studio, pointing at this bit here. That game was fun to play. It was good fun to play. It was great. So creating games and we gave them silly names and we set them up and we did all the stuff that we had to do to make a game. But the videos for it, when I was editing them together, were very, very repetitive. Oh my goodness me. It was essentially like a copy-paste of the same video, but just with different names for the games. It was just me doing the same things over and over again. There was very little difference in the videos themselves. So yeah, sometimes you have to make sure that the game is going to be entertaining to make, video or videos of, because yeah, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes that does mean that I get things wrong, like City Game Studio. I obviously went and made a little mini series of that and then realised as we were going through that the videos were quite repetitive and thought, you know what, should probably stop this now. But yeah, that game kind of had a lot of promise, but yeah, it just sort of ended up being a lot of the same thing. A lot of, right, give the game a name and then set all the variables on it and then press go. Right, okay, we're going to make a new game. Let's pick a new theme and set the variables and press go. It was all kind of the same thing over and over again. So sometimes, yes, I will sort of have a look and think, okay, does this game have the chance, have the opportunity, to make entertaining videos? Yes, it does. But, on occasion, we do get it wrong, like City Game Studio, I suppose. And then I suppose the final thing that I might do while I'm selecting a game is just go and see if videos of that particular game have done well elsewhere. Because it's always worth having a look. You might see this game and see, I don't know, Mega Super City Builder Game 5. You might think, wow, that looks amazing. And then if you just go and check out some other people and, those videos have bombed for that game, then you might think, oh, actually, okay, that game is either not very good or it's, not very well received, it's not very popular, it's a bit buggy, whatever. So I'll go over and check. I'll check various places. I'll just go and check on YouTube generally, Many a True Nerd, I'll check Wee Hour's channel, check Nucrium's channel for sort of indie games, Catherine of Sky for different games. So, those sorts of people, I will go and check their channels to see if they have done a video on the game that we're thinking of and just see how well it did. And whether it's well received and such like. And then, if it looks complicated, maybe just go in and just watch the first few minutes just to kind of get an idea of the basics of how the game works and such like. But so sometimes it's quite good just to go and have a nosy at other people's videos just to see what's going on with a game. That can help out as well. If you're not sure whether it's suitable or whatever, go and check out somebody else who's played it and you might look and go, do you know what? That looks like my thing. Or you might look and go, do you know what? No, that looks awful. I definitely don't want to play that at all ever. So, it kind of helps if you go and check out other people who have played that game. And, of course, if the video for them has done well, then the likelihood is that it will do well for you as well. But there we go. I think that's about it. And then I'll just, go ahead and if the game meets those criteria, if it's sort of, suitable for the channel, if it's not full of sort of swearing and blood and gore and such like, if it's enjoyable, if it's not massively complicated, if it can make a decent video or a series of videos, and if it's sort of alright, if it's being well received across YouTube, then we will probably go ahead and have a go at it. But I think that's about it. I think that sort of sums up the process for selecting a game to play. Although it's not really a rigid process. Sometimes I'll just see something and just go, do you know what? We have to play that because it's got bright colours in it or whatever. So, sometimes it's not quite as simple, as sort of complicated, as all those other things that I just said there. Sometimes it's as simple as, that looks fun. It's got, lots of different coloured decor that we can put around a building. Right, we're playing that because we can have pink walls and purple floors and blue carpets and that kind of stuff. So, sometimes it's a little bit more sort of simple. But there we go. I think that answers the question. Hopefully it does. So I will go and finish our lovely after dinner tea that we are still going to have after breakfast, unless we leave it for a very long time, We could leave the tea for absolutely ages, but I'd rather not do that because then it'll be cold and that's just terrible. So no, we won't leave it. We shall be rebellious and have our after dinner tea after breakfast. So I'll go and finish that off and we will wrap things up for the moment. So for now, thank you very much for joining me for day 22 of the Festive Advent Countdown 2021, and I will see you next time. Let's follow Matt Spence, aka Duke Nukem, as he chases after a dirty villain. There are a lot of angry people still. I don't know why. Never ever employ him, he's terrible. This place is full of rats. Timothy Robles with your kind of crazy eyes. You have tea leaves in it for one of my shops.